Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Main Street Films and USA Film Festival, Joe Manganiello and Nick Manganiello. Let's bring them on up
Manganiello.
here. Manganiello. Yeah, I even asked you beforehand how to pronounce your name, and I screwed it up. I apologize. I apologize.
Right.
So nice work, gentlemen. Very, very well done. I'm very impressed. This is not a film I thought I would enjoy. I got to be honest with you, but I really enjoyed it a lot, and I think that there's something in here that everybody can relate to in one form or another. Now, I know that you talked briefly before this started about kind of the genesis of this. It was when you were researching Magic Mike. Do you want to talk a little bit about, like, when was the moment where you said to yourself, this is a movie, or at the time you were thinking TV show?
Well, it all started when I was getting ready to shoot Magic Mike. You know, I had a lot of misperceptions about the art of male entertainment. I thought I knew what it was about. I had all of these crazy ideas in my head, and luckily for me, an old friend of mine, whose name is Jason Williams, who was listed as our consultant, was a dancer. He danced under the name Scotty in the 80s. Scotty in the 80s. He was the originator of the fireman routine, I guess in the 90s, that then I used in Magic Mike. And I took him out to lunch. We sat down for about 2 hours, and I have never laughed so hard in my life at the stories that he told me. And I realized it really wasn't what I thought it was. It was like Motley Crue meets WWE wrestling or something, you know. And for whatever reason, it never dawned on me that this is, you know, I may have made a huge mistake in my career choice. That this is probably the greatest job that a guy could possibly have. You know, you get to go to work every night, hang out with your buddies, this brotherhood, this family, this team, and have women stuff money down your underpants. I don't know, it sounded pretty good to me, and I just thought, wow, yeah, why didn't I ever think of it that way, you know? So, you know, my brother and I, we started our production company, 359, right after, I guess after Magic Mike came out, about a few months after that came out, and we were going through our slate of projects, and Nick and I had this conversation because I remembered these stories about this guy, Randy Master Blaster Ricks, and I thought, man, if that club's still open in Dallas that Jason used to work at, and that guy Randy's still there, like, we got to go. There's something there. And so that was really why we went down there in the first place. And what we found was, I mean, there's this gold mine of these amazing guys. And, I mean, one was more likable than the next. One was more handsome than the next, more ripped than the next. And so, you know, we started creating what we thought was going to be a sizzle reel for a TV show. But then I showed about 15 minutes of it to Steven Soderbergh, who directed Magic Mike, and my friend Elvis Mitchell, this, you know, famed film critic, and both of them said, don't give this to anybody. You know, finish the story yourself, do it yourself, don't hand it off to anyone, you don't need anyone's help, fund it yourself. In this day and age, you can fund an entire movie on your own. You don't need anybody to do it. So I turned to Nick and said, we're not turning it into a TV show, we're going to go do it. And he was like, damn it, you know, we were right about to sign the contract, and, you know, he just got married, wanted the money, you know, so, but we wanted to do it right. And so we did it right, and now here we are a year later talking about the TV show again. So, you know, it's still there.
Nick, when you were first approached about this, what was the first thought that went through your head in terms of whether or not this could work?
Well, it's funny. When Joe sent me the script for Magic Mike, I actually told him not to do it. So that's, yeah, exactly. So, but, you know, obviously with Steven Soderbergh being involved in what it became and the cast and what it did, and so it wasn't as big of a leap of faith for me, understanding that we saw the kind of the commercial potential. And man, I mean, like, going down and meeting these guys, how quickly we realized what it was that we kind of captured, what we realized we were going to be, you know, in the process of doing. So it didn't take a whole lot of coaxing. My wife, however, was a little bit puzzled by the amount of time I was spending at LeBaire Dallas, but she was cool.
Yeah, we spent my birthday and New Year's that year at LeBaire Dallas, which is not how I ever pictured it. But we had a blast, man. We had a great time. So yeah.
We also have Randy in the audience. Randy, you want to stand up and take a bow?
Yeah, give this man a hand.
Master Blaster, right here he is, right there. Yeah. I am curious, like when you guys approached this, how willing were they to sort of open the doors to you? Was there some hesitation about maybe pulling back the curtain on this a bit?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't know us at all. You know, some guys, we were obviously in Los Angeles, they were in Dallas, and when we reached out initially, it was, you know, I just tried to pack the first day that we were on the ground, not knowing if we would have a second day. You know, what we got that first day, and then even just stepping foot in the club, there's a giant poster of Magic Mike when you walk in Le Bear, and Joe just was like, yeah, that's me, like on the poster, and they were like, oh, great, you know. So so that really kind of filled our days to a point where we were like, guys, we got to get on a plane. Like, I'm so sorry we couldn't get to everybody, you know. So it became this. They realized that Joe was kind of part of the tribe. So yeah.
Yeah, I had street cred in the male dancing world, and I don't think had I been in Magic Mike, I don't know that it would have worked out the way that it did. You know, be that as it may, there was still, I think, some trust issues that needed to be worked out because you know, there's an opportunity, especially, you know, you look at reality shows and you look at how they cut those things together. It's like they're just looking to make everybody look stupid, and it pisses me off, you know. And you know, I really grew to care about all the guys, you know, and looked at them as friends and like family members. And hell, I mean, they're all over Nick's Facebook page, you know. So you know, we talk on Twitter, and I get calls from Nick, and you know, Caesar sent me a knife. You know what I mean? We have relationships with these guys now, and you know, Alex I certainly talk to, you know, all the time. So you know, there was an amount of wanting to do right by them, and we had to prove that we were going to do right by them. And we went away after our first time shooting, and we put together about a 15-minute little sizzle reel that I came back and showed Alex. And you know, after that, you know, I think he realized that what our vision was and what our idea was and what the tone of it was. And I think from there, you know, I think we earned that trust. But I think when you get into something like the segment about Angela, about Ruben, you know, there's a real responsibility to do justice to someone's life, and to speak out and to ears that about an injustice that happened. Justice was not served in my opinion. You know, and I'm not supposed to take an opinion as a filmmaker, but I think it needs to be talked about. And there was I got a real sense that healing needed to happen, and that there were people that wanted to talk to us, but there were a few of the guys that were very hesitant to talk. And it wasn't until the last day that those final guys who were there that night rallied together and showed up.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when you see an article, a thing like that on the news, and you get a 30-second news bite, you don't get the whole story, and you actually showed his story, which I really appreciated. The fact that you went into that, you showed the human side of
well, and a lot of the testimony fell on deaf ears, you know. I mean, and so I think it was important to be able to give voice to those people, and have it beamed out, and you know, everybody's going to know, and now everybody's going to have their own opinion on it.
And to that, if I may, just what a beautiful person in life that was. You know, that was also important to show kind of the world that. So.
Yeah, I love that you showed the video that he had posted. People don't realize sometimes when you make a documentary that it can be thousands of hours of footage. How many hours of footage did you have to cull down to what we saw on the screen?
Well, okay. We shot this in 8 days.
That's pretty incredible, really.
We shot it for 3 days in December of 2012, and then we came back 6 months later and shot 5 days in July. And I mean, I've never heard of anything like that. It was a divine experience. I mean, and when I say divine, I mean, it felt like every single day that we were shooting, we all looked at each other, our crew. I mean, we were there with a crew of 3, and then when we came back, it was a crew of 4. You know, and I'm funding everything out of pocket, and we're eating at the barbecue place every afternoon because it's cheap, and you know what I mean. I'm driving around in a rental car, and you know, Nick and I are setting up the equipment, and you know, we're all wearing all our different hats, and you know, and it was just real, you know, this family affair, and every single day it just felt like the sky was opening up and handing us something. You know, I mean, we could have showed up to amateur night for 10 years and not gotten the one where the guy did the cartwheel and his dick popped out. You know, I mean, it's like, come on. And we had the camera on pointed right at it, you know? I mean, it was like Jaws coming out of the water, or Godzilla or something. You know, it was like, I can't believe we're getting this. And, you know, I mean, that girl eating shit, I mean, she wasn't even close to the chair. I mean, it was like, it was amazing, you know? So it was like, it was just kind of, are you there? Oh, that's you. Oh, my God. Yes. Wow.
Watch your seat.
Yes. That was I mean, it's amazing, you know? But it was like we were handed, you know, there was a real trick in the, you know, in the editing room with, you know, when you get into a really sad, heartfelt, somber moment, we were all, you know, kind of sitting there trying to figure out how we were going to come out of it. And it was like, I don't know a person on the planet that's not going to laugh at that. No offense, I'm sorry, but you laughed. Okay, good. Yeah, thank you. I mean, you know, so I mean, it was just moment after moment. These once in a lifetime moments, just one after another that just lined up.
And we could make LeBaire 2 and 3 tomorrow. I mean, it's like we've got enough where it could just. I mean, there's unfortunately just so many stories and so many like characters that we just had to fit it in 90 minutes.
DVD special features, yeah. I mean, there were other characters that we couldn't put in. You know, that we had an amazing piece on Terry Terranova. An amazing piece that I loved. We loved it, but we just couldn't find a place for it in the third act, and we couldn't put it in the first two because it would kind of broke the flow. So expect that. You know, there was some amazing tips for women. There was like Ace Boogie's tips for women. This guy's like the Yoda of women. It was like, what do you know about women? And it was just like, we were all just like nodding, like, okay, yeah, all right, like speak on, my man, you know? So expect, you know, the Yoda wisdom tips for married and single men from Ace on the DVD as well.
Expanded edition DVD.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys have questions. Let's take a couple questions from the audience. We'll start right here.
Well, first, I want to thank you. Dallas in the 80s. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Dallas in the 80s. And maybe I might have shown up in LeBaire once or twice. But I wanted to thank you for showing both sides, both the what you think the dancers are like and, oh, I pick you tonight kind of deal, and the reality that some of them, this is their job. This is what they do. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
But I'm going to go back to Dallas in the 80s.
Yeah. Maybe you got a lap dance from Randy back in the 80s? Okay. All right. Were you the one that tipped him the $75,000 cashier's check? You got outbid? Yeah, all right. Hey, he's going to be there tonight.
Let's take another question. Anybody else? Nobody else has a question? You're kidding me. Right here.
Hi, welcome to Dallas.
Hi, thank you.
I've always heard that there are a lot of homosexual strippers, and didn't really see any of that. So, was there an experience with that? And if so, why wasn't it shown?
If there was, it would have been in the movie. I didn't cast this, you know? I didn't cast the movie. I didn't script any of it. This was completely fly on the wall. But that is a common misperception, and I don't know why. I don't know why that job would appeal to a gay male dancer. I mean, I would, if you know, I would want to dance on guys if that was my thing, you know. But I mean, that's not really the thing. It's you know, I think all of these guys are pretty happy dancing on girls, you know. But I think, you know, but interestingly enough, we could have set the movie anywhere. We could have shot this in Vegas. We could have shot it in LA. We could have shot it in New York, Miami, wherever, all over the country. We could have set it. We could have, you know, shot part of it in a straight club and part of it in a gay club. But I don't think you get the conversation that really is at the heart of this film, which was interesting to me about Magic Mike, which is that this is a very fun, glossy entry point for this ongoing conversation of kind of post-feminist sex relations between men and women. We spent like the past 40 years fighting for equality. But this is a place where we all put that down and just get along. And no matter what we do to fight to be the same, we're all different. We're always going to be different. And I think that there's something really fun and beautiful and heartwarming about that. That these guys, their job isn't to play women, mistreat them. It's about looking into their heart and giving them something that makes them happy and makes them smile and makes them feel wanted, you know, on a day that maybe they don't. And that's an interesting conversation to me, how we're different, you know. Men are a microwave, push a button, turn on. Women need the preheat. You know, these guys are preheat masters, you know? So I think it's, you know, it's interesting. Every guy, you know, every woman wants to see this movie for obvious reasons, but every guy I know loves this movie because it's like these guys know stuff that they're guys, and they know things about women that shit I wish I knew. You know, I was sitting there going, man, I got to step up my game, you know, like, while we were shooting. So, you know, I think if you said it somewhere like that, you don't get that. But if that was a part of it, that would be a part of the movie. But it's not, and that's an interesting misperception.
All the way in the back of the blue.
Hi, I was just wondering if you're going to do Magic Mike 2, if you're going to be in it, is it going to be filmed in Dallas? And I think you should be a true Italian pizza delivery man.
Did everybody hear that? Okay, are you going to do Magic Mike 2? Is it going to be filmed in Dallas? And are you going to be a true Italian and be a pizza delivery man?
You can't have Magic Mike extra, extra large without Big Dick Richie. 30 minutes or less, baby. No, will it be filmed in Dallas? Probably not just due to tax incentives, but the whole team has seen it. Actually, there was an great interview that just went up online. I guess at the 22 Jump Street premiere, Channing went on and on about how much he loves LeBaire and wants everyone to see it. And it's required viewing for everyone on Magic Mike 2. So they know it's right here. So this is the mecca of male entertainment right here in your town, and they all know it. We all know it. So, and number 3, yeah, I got some Italian sausage for you. I got to cut a hole in the box, though.
Right here.
I know you pumped it up in Magic Mike. Did you see any of those pumps?
Everybody hear that in the back?
She's asking about penis pumps.
Penis pumps.
Yeah. If I saw any backstage, it's like a medieval torture device. I don't even know. That's just bizarre. That thing is so weird.
Don't look at me, man.
Yeah. Come on, man. But yeah, all right. I did not see any penis pumps back. Otherwise, I probably would have made a moment out of that. But I didn't go diving in the lockers, so I don't know. Anybody? No? Not really? No? Yeah. You got what you got to plug?
I was so terrified when I came to LeBaire my first night that I did go buy one.
Let's go right here in the front with the green.
Okay, everyone's going to have to forgive me for a way less fun question, but I want to understand 359. What's the name of that?
Oh, 359. What's the origins of that?
That is dedicated to the man who broke the 4-minute mile barrier. It's his name is Roger Bannister. For thousands of years, theorists, philosophers, physicists all postulated that human evolution had a ceiling. No one was ever going to break the 4-minute mile. It went back to ancient Rome. For thousands of years, no one could break it, so they thought human beings are only going to be so fast, we accept that. Well, in 1954, this British physician, who wasn't the best athlete, wasn't the fastest runner, said, I call BS. And he devised a smarter training program. Rather than looking at the mile as one big whole challenge, impossible goal, he broke it into 4 parts, 4 laps around a track. So he went and found 4 separate sub-minute runners. And he would line them up like rabbits and race the first one, and then race the second on the second lap, and the third, and then the fourth. And when he could beat all 4 sub-minute runners, he ran it for time, and he got a 3:59.4. The most amazing thing about it was that 46 days later, somebody else broke his record. And within 2 years, all these people around the world started smashing each other's records. So it was all mental. It was us saying, we can't do it. It's impossible. And this guy saying, no, I'm going to come up with a smarter training program, and I'm going to break it into smaller pieces and beat it. And that's what we're all about. It's amazing to think that in 2014, there hasn't been a documentary about male entertainment. I mean, they had the documentary about the mole people in the New York subway tunnel. I mean, it's like there's a documentary about everything. But nobody has taken cameras inside and shown who these guys really are. And everybody has an opinion and thinks that they know, and they don't. So it was amazing to us to think that, you know, because of Magic Mike, because of Randy, because of my friend Jason, you know, because of Alex keeping the club going, because of these guys here, that we get to show this to the world and change a lot of opinions. You know, we get to wake people up, and that's really what our company's all about.
Let's go right over here.
And Peter Pan.
I love the movie. Thank you so much.
Thank
Brought
you.
back great memories. When I was a senior in high school in '86, and me and my 2 girlfriends got sick of keg parties, and we stumbled onto La Bear. And every Saturday night we were at La Bear. And our prom night, we went to La Bear.
Where did your dates go? Out of there,
We
right?
didn't have dates.
Nice.
So we loved it. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Right here.
Well, I just want to say, well, for one thing, thank you for making the movie, because I've known a couple of guys who worked their way through college at La Bear, and the movie gives them the respect that they deserved when they were going through college and didn't get it. But my question is, there seems to be 2 or 3 of the dancers that were in the military and then became dancers at La Bear. Was there something about being in the military that made them want to dance at La Bear?
It was actually part of the Army's requirements. No, you know, to Caesar's point in the movie, he, you know, he says when you're out of the military, you're either going to be a bodyguard, a bouncer, or a
Cop.
Cop. Yeah. So I mean, it seems like there's kind of a limited pool that they all kind of have to pull from, and God bless him. You know, he took the bull by the horns and made his own way, and I mean, just kills it. I mean,
He's the reigning champion.
Yes, yeah.
Right?
He's
Great American
Strip-Off
champion. Yeah.
Formerly held by Mr. Brett Michaels in the audience.
Yes, Brett Michaels.
Now, the
Formerly held by Mr. Randy Ricks, also in the audience.
and
Anybody
now,
else?
And now
Anybody
goes
else?
by the Angelo Cup, which is great. So.
Yeah, been renamed the Angelo Cup.
Let's go right here.
Okay, thank you. I've never been to La Bear.
But you're going tonight, though, right?
I'm Michelle. I really want to, except all the dancers are here, apparently.
They'll be there after.
Oh, okay. Is that the after party?
Yeah.
Okay.
Different things will happen there than here.
All right, never been there, but now maybe I'll go. I've always been afraid of something like that. And it made the dancers, the whole experience very human to me, instead of this really scary sort of thing. Well, the scary thing still was, you know, the pushing the head in the package thing. I'm not so sure if I would want to do that. So if I were to go to La Bear, just say, for instance, if I were to go, not saying I am, but if I were to go, can I not have my head pushed in the package?
It's entirely up to the front row.
Okay.
Yeah. Why don't you come on down and we'll
We'll make some introductions. We'll break the ice.
Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Right behind you.
I'm not so scared, so
come on down.
What can you say? Say it again.
The Zumba classes taught by the guys.
Ace, you got a Zumba customer, man. That's Ace.
Ace Booney, Nick Soto, David.
Oh, they're asking where can they go for that?
Where? Well, me and David and Ace, we have our own studio in Mesquite, so we.
Throw out a website.
But you know, La Bear definitely taught us how to dance, so we like helping people, you know, with their health and fitness as well. So it's a good side business, you know.
What's your studio?
They want to come, so where do they need to go?
Well, if you Facebook. Yeah, we got a Facebook page, and our studio name is Fit the Rhythm Studio, and you can find all our information is there. But we get down, man. It's a lot of fun.
So come talk to these guys afterwards. They'll point you in the right direction. Zumba. Yeah.
And they will shove your head in their crotch.
Up here. What's next for you guys?
As a production company, we have a script with, you know, that we have some actors. You call it attached? What do you call it? Interested in. We have a script that's out to financiers right now that's based on the band The Smiths, the day that they broke up in 1987. Yeah, which is kind of the band that the '80s forgot. Which, you know, so it's, I just optioned a book called Juilliard to Jail, which is about a woman who was a Juilliard trained actress who then taught screenwriting and directed a production of Henry V in maximum security men's prison in California. And so it's her life story of working against the bureaucracy of the American prison system. It's kind of an expose. So once again, something that I don't think has really been explored in depth. So we've got those, and then we've got a whole slate of we got 4 second drafts coming in the next few weeks, and the LeBaire TV show is in the works right now. So we're kind of walking down the path with that. So hopefully we'll have news on that soon.
All right. Anybody not get a question in? Right here.
I just have a question. Obviously, you watch the movie and the guys seem really great, and they have this sort of philosophy about how they treat women, and it certainly comes from people they work with. Is that typical of this sort of establishment throughout the country? Do you know that? Is this the way every guy in this industry approaches the way they do their job? Is this the exception, or is this the rule?
I think it's a very special club of guys, personally. I really do. And I think if we would have filmed this anywhere else, we wouldn't have got that story that you just saw.
But the great thing also is, LeBaire's not only in Dallas, it's in Houston, it's in Fort Lauderdale, it's in Miami. So they've been so supportive of this film and trying to help however they can, trying to get it out to the public. So I just think that brand is so strong in this industry that they really do support it as this kind of family network.
And I think you have to give it up to Alex. Like Joe was saying, I certainly heard a lot of crazy stories to the opposite from some of the earlier years, and this guy came in and cleaned it up, and he made it a really respectable place that was worthy of being mainstream, and something where you don't have to be scared. Maybe a little bit, but in the good way, so I think it's really, he put the emphasis on them being businessmen and entertainers and putting on a good show. And about giving and sharing rather than seeing what they can take. And I think it's a really, really special group of young men. So, yeah.
Right here.
During your contemplation of the promotion of LeBaire's, LeBaire 1 or 2 and 3, is there also a contemplation of you dancing in Dallas?
Is there a chance of you dancing in Dallas?
Once again, do not look. Yeah.
Who wants to see Nick dance?
Yeah.
Amateur night.
I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that I am going to have to get warmed up for Magic Mike 2 at some point, so I don't know. Maybe. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying definitely. I'm not saying yes. I'm just saying maybe. Maybe I might pop up unannounced. At some point.
Don't wear underwear with a flap.
Maybe, yeah, and don't wear underwear with a hole in the front, or Randy's gonna get you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, LeBaire opens here at the Angelica on June 27th. Yeah. So what we need you to do...
Tell your friends.
Please tell your friends, tweet about it, Facebook about it. We'll have more information at bigfanboy.com. On behalf of the USA Film Festival and Main Street Films, it is my great pleasure to give a big thank you to Joe and Nick Manganiello. Thank you for coming out, everybody.
Thank you all very much.
And thank you, Angelica, and thank you to the USA Film Festival for having us. This is amazing. Thank you. Thank you all for coming.